Welcome, everybody, to SFL This Week alongside Mike St. Green. I am Cameron Irvine, and happy to be back here with you to break down the week's worth of games. We are almost halfway through the season. Now, September is kicking my butt, Mike, so it's going to take us a little longer to get there by the end of it, but this has been one of the most competitive seasons in recent memory. Bossier City is last in the standings with a minus 11 point differential. And we only have one undefeated team left. That's DC, who plays tonight. And they've only beaten Baltimore 3 times in 13 meetings. The Vultures, their Achilles heel. Should be a great capper to Week 7 and a wild week to break down. How you doing, Mike?
Yeah, doing great, Cam, man. As you mentioned, it is been a wild week in the SFL. We've had some amazing offensive performances from several teams this week, and we also have some stinkers on offense, and then some great defense played this week as well. But we have this matchup tonight, big division rivalry. And if you would have told me a 5-0 undefeated against 2-3 just a couple of seasons ago, I would have thought these records were reversed. But DC off to a great start. Baltimore struggling a little bit, and this should be an excellent matchup. But big game for Baltimore to try to keep pace and get back to the 500 level.
Now, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, is in the chat. We don't often get a celebrity in here. I don't think it's actually The Rock. But he says he wants to be a quarterback. Can The Rock be a quarterback? How many quarterback spots will be open next season? Listen, man, all you can do is go into our Discord server, see if there are any quarterback spots available, start in the minor league, build up your player. You don't want to play in the pros. You're going to throw 6 picks and going to have a bad time, right? So, but happy to have you here. Skip's here. Christian Bachagalupi's here. Ronnie Shanahan. Charles Doherty is here, getting ready for the call with me in DC tonight. Robert Brady Jr., Nathaniel Diggs, Tita Queen, and many more. So it's time to get this thing started. And when the week began and we looked at the schedule, we saw that first game on the slate and thought, man, this one looks really good. It has the potential to be really good. Can we? Is it going to live up to the hype? Are we going to get a good start to Week 7? The answer to that was a resounding yes. As there it goes. As we head to Vancouver, or Houston rather, where the Vancouver Legion took on the Houston Headhunters. That's Ezekiel Bear in the end zone, putting Vancouver up 7-3. Then Tino Sosa's into the end zone, makes it 10-7. 4-0 Vancouver, 4-1 Houston. Christian Brown off the hands. This was on 3rd down and 4 with about 5 minutes to go. So Vancouver had to settle for a field goal, and then John Lakeman on 3rd down, got to have it, gets it for the first down, moves the chains, and helps keep the drive alive. A couple minutes later, 2:22 to go in the 4th quarter, and it's Lakeman finding, you guessed it, Mike St. Green, wide open. Emmanuel Blackman hurt on the play. Houston gets the score, goes up 17-10. Hurt on the tackle, too. Mike, it's all those lifted weights in the offseason. You just hurting people. Vancouver was not done. John Michael Sudduth down to the 11-yard line, getting Vancouver into position to potentially tie the game. Then Brown is picked off by King Henry, and Houston ends up winning this football game 17-10. They knock off one of the 2 previously unbeaten teams in the Vancouver Legion, drop them to 4-1. Houston improves to 5-1, and that means the Houston Headhunters not only are your current leaders in the South, but they are the 2nd best record in the UFL, or in the SFL right now. So, Mike, what did it feel like scoring that game-winning touchdown? First of all, I'm wondering if you can remember what your last game-winning touchdown was, or if you've ever had one before, and Houston's impressive performance and winning streak against a lot of tough competition out there.
Well, can we just stop the show right now? Because it's not going to get any better than that MSG touchdown to win the game against Vancouver and knocking them off of their undefeated perch. But no, man, in all seriousness, it's been a fantastic run for Houston, for us. Not just that because we won, we're 5-1 right now, but the 3-game streak that we're on knocking Albuquerque out of their undefeated at home streak, then beating Arizona, then knocking off undefeated Vancouver. Man, it doesn't get any better than that with as far as the toughness of the competition and just the balanced attack on both sides of the ball. As far as the defense has been excellent, as you saw Chris Henry there with a huge interception in end zone. He's been fantastic all season long. And then you look at the offense with with Tino in the backfield as well as a Blue Scott. The receiving core has been balanced. John Lakeman has been great, and just a balanced attack. Defense great. Offense has been good enough, and now we're sitting at 5-1.
Now Houston's got an interesting schedule because they've already played half the games, but they get kind of snake bit today by the schedule adjustments because that Bossier City game moves off the week, and so Houston is not looking at a game until September 20th. This is going to give the Headhunters a lot of time to just take a break, to decompress, at 5-1. And you look at their remaining schedule: Florida, Oklahoma City, Denver, Lexington, Bossier City, obviously, and Mexico City down the stretch. But I mean, these are all winnable games. We could be looking at a 9-3, 10-2, 11-1 Houston Headhunters team by the end of the season.
Yeah, right now it looks extremely favorable for Houston the way that schedule is going to play out. I think if you probably ask everyone in the front office to a man, would we have rather played this week against Bossier City? I think they would tell you yes, just from the standpoint of the way we're on the roll right now. Bossier City's struggling, trying to get things figured out, so that would have been probably a favorable matchup for us going in. But hey, it is what it is. We know the circumstances of what's going on, so we're gonna have to adjust. And yeah, man, these guys have been working hard behind the scenes. They could take a week off, a couple of weeks off, and get refreshed, as you mentioned, and come back strong against Florida.
And the Steamers get a little bit of reprieve. The last team they wanted to see was Houston, and now they get to take a deep breath and try to reassess their situation. So Houston gets the big win. It was a tight defensive, really good battle, really good game, they were able to put it together. There's another matchup on the schedule on Saturday that we thought, man, is this going to live up to the billing? Minnesota and Denver, both teams are kind of struggling recently. They're not even leading the division. All right, who's gonna come out of the pack here in the Central and make something happen? This game also delivered as we head to Denver. The Night Wings take a 7-3 lead with 4:13 to go in the first half. That's Jay Viper with the catch, but Johnny Reno going to bounce right back. Deezer Powell as we're in the third quarter now. Minnesota down 10-3. What did we say last week, Mike? Deezer Powell always seems to show up in the big moments. This is a nice route here.
Yeah, he definitely always seems to show up, Cam, and whenever they need a play, there's a nice slow post corner right there. He didn't get an end zone, but he did move the chains.
Minnesota would answer with Colin Hart, the pending Hall of Famer, 10-10. Halfway through the third quarter, it's a tight one in Denver. Now 13-10. Minnesota has the lead. Trellis Blanton, look at the patience, finding the open receiver over the middle down to the 8-yard line and picking up a 1st and goal for the Night Wings in those beautiful jerseys with the wings down the side. And then it's R.E. Mills, a guy that's kind of an unsung hero in this offense. He does a lot of the dirty work. Finally able to get in the end zone for a touchdown, 17-13. Denver trying to protect the lead. Minnesota's across the 50. They've got a chance. They've got an opportunity, but it's picked off by Parker Thomas. And the Denver Night Wings end up getting to 3-2. And with other results that happened this week, Minnesota back in last place in the Central Division. The Central's certainly been one of the most surprising and wide open divisions of the season. Denver gets it done. They snap a ugly 2-game win streak. Minnesota continues kind of their roller coaster season. Was this game more about Minnesota or more about Denver to you?
I think this is more about Denver. I think Denver, they're slowly, rounding into who they are and who a lot of people thought they were going to be this season. It's been a slow grind, but hey, if they're above 500 after several kind of down seasons for them, this has to be a positive outlook for them, being above 500 in first place. But as you mentioned, it's a tight division. As we look at the standings all over the SFL, all of these divisions are tight right now. Probably with the exception of DC, they have a couple of games cushion in their division. But other than that, man, they're all kind of tough and tight. They can go either way. A lot of teams are still in the playoff picture. So yeah, Denver has no reason to say we are beyond behind expectations. I think they're right where they want to be.
Yeah, Minnesota's interesting because they started 0-2 and it was really ugly early, but they put together a really nice win against Queen City, which after what Queen City did to Carolina this week, that win looks even that more impressive because they won 42-3, and then they're able to take out Florida. Suffered a disappointing defeat there. Their next game is going to be at Detroit September 7th. You want to talk about two defensive lines that really get going, and that's a rivalry. The Monsters of the Midwest, Detroit and Minnesota, formerly Minnesota and Indianapolis. So that's going to be a monster game. Here in between our 2 weeks of breaks, one of the more intriguing matchups on the schedule. We'll see if Detroit will also be coming off a loss, which one of those teams bounces back. Well, even though Denver and Minnesota were kind of the big highlight game in the Central, I'm not really sure that they took the spotlight in the Central because that was the Oklahoma City Renegades who had low expectations coming into this game. I'm not saying they did, but I think everyone around the league did. And Charleston is probably going to bounce back after that tough loss to DC. Well, they're up 7-3, but it's King Jackson finding Bacigalupi over the middle to score, making it 10-7 Oklahoma City on top of Charleston. Then later in the first half, it's King Jackson to Stephen McMichaels to go up 24-10. The theme of this game was, look at all the different Oklahoma City Renegade players in this highlight package. Everybody was doing great things. Now look at this. At the end of the first half, Iman Kopech, show him the ball and then throw it down the field. Charleston would end up getting a field goal out of the drive, but one of the best plays of the season so far. Then Kopech into the end zone to Xavier Solomon, made it 30-23. Charleston right in this thing, but on first down and goal, it's King Jackson finding Tiberius Bovine into the end zone for the score. 37-23. Too little, too late for the Charleston Predators as they fall. They were kind of playing catch up this entire game. And along with the Oklahoma City win, Stephen McMichaels was hospitalized this week for COVID and COVID complications. He was having a hard time this weekend, and a lot of SFL Nation showed him some love and support, and he got a touchdown, and his team got the win. So at least we're doing our part to help Stephen McMichaels be in better spirits and be on the up and up. Stephen, we're thinking about you, and we hope that you get better soon and out of that hospital bed. Best of luck to you. Well wishes, thoughts, and prayers from all of us here at the SFL. So Oklahoma City gets the win. They're now 2-3. They are not last place in the division. They're only a game out of the division lead. And with the way that Denver and Minnesota have been up and down, the way that Chicago's been up and down, this division is anybody's game.
Yeah, and Cam, I'm not really surprised by Oklahoma City's performance so far this season. Yeah, they've lost a big game, blowout game to Pittsburgh. I'm not sure the results of a couple of the other losses, but as far as the margin of defeat, but they do have a large plus-minus deficit on their hands. But this team, you could see them coming along towards the end of last season, so that's why I'm not really surprised to see them, occasionally step up, and we see the type of performance that we saw over the weekend. And as you mentioned, and I've seen them several other times this season, they get a lot of people involved, in particular in this passing game. And King Jackson, he's been a huge reason for that. I've been a fan of this guy, really started since last season. As I was, trumpeting this guy last season quite a bit over in Queen City, and he's come over to Oklahoma City and done a lot of the same things he did there. So, man, these guys are looking great, and keep doing what you're doing. And Oklahoma City is not going to be easy out the remainder of the season.
Yeah, the Renegades certainly beating expectations. How many wins can they stack? How well can they compete over the course of the season? There was a scary moment this week because it looked like King and Queen Jackson were not going to be eligible to play this week. They sort of beat it by the deadline as the league was working on files and things. So they got a chance to play, but it was touch and go. 2-3 is a lot different than 1-4. But hey, King Jackson here to set the record straight. He talked with Ashley Jackson this week, the quarterback for Oklahoma City. Certainly excited about what's going on in Renegade country right now. This should be a good one. PGI Ashley Jackson, take it away.
Welcome back to PGI, where I am joined with my good friend, Mr. KJ Jackson, King Jackson, quarterback of the Oklahoma City Renegades, coming off a phenomenal win against the Charleston Predators. Look at you getting the waves all together. I see you, man. What's going on?
Yeah, man, what's going on?
Nothing much, man. Great win last night.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. We
Indeed.
was out there playing hard.
I see. You did play hard. Yeah, you specifically had 302 yards. You went 20 for 33. 20 for 33. Quarterback rating of 121.1. Clean game, no interceptions. The only problem that I saw that you had was Mr. Dan Dash getting 2 sacks on you. Couldn't get out the way. You got to get out the way a little bit faster.
Man, I mean, really the sack. Really, when I get sacked, it just make me play better. You know what I'm saying? I like it. I like it when they come touch me. You feel me? It let me know. You feel me? Get my blood flowing.
No, I get that. I get that, man. So, give me your take on the game last night. What were some high points? What were some low points that you feel like you guys need to work on for next game?
I feel like the what's the word I'm looking for? I feel like the main reason we was able to get the win was honestly we was able to actually establish our run game. Like the run game was actually, you know what I'm saying? We was actually getting it going this game, and it just made it easier for the passing. Because once they seen we was able to get the run game going, they started blitzing, and once they started blitzing, we just were able to hit the short routes and able to take advantage of the tight ends on their safeties or DBs. Because we got big receiving tight ends. You know what I'm saying? So once we was able to get them matched up against the smaller DBs and safeties, it was, you know what I'm saying, we was able to just take what the defense gave us and get the W. We came out with the win.
You did, and you were not shy about throwing it to a tight end, hashtag, because Tiberius Bovine caught a touchdown. Wide receiver Christian Bakajalupi had one, but Stephen McMichaels also had one too. Shout out to Stephen. I know he's sick right now, so I know this win is definitely going to be something that's going to help him feel better.
Right, man. We definitely wanted to get the win for him, and like I told him before the game started, that today we was gonna go out there and play for him, and we was able to bring that game ball back.
I love it. One more question before I let you go. So you took a little hiatus. You've been a part of the league for a while, but then you took a little bit of a hiatus, and you came back to OKC. Would you mind telling us why you took the hiatus and why OKC was your destination of choice to come back to?
Well, honestly, it really was a tricky situation because I was on Motor City, the last season Motor City was here, and I had other teams like I ain't gonna say the team names, but I had a few teams that would hit me up, and I was planning on just staying with one of those teams or signing with a new team, even though I was planning on leaving Motor City anyway, because I felt like me and Thump just didn't see eye to eye, So I was planning on leaving Motor City anyway, but it's like the other teams I was gonna sign to, one team that I pretty much put pen to paper with at the last minute, like I had another team trying to hit me up, and I put the pen to paper with the other team, so I told them, they're like, nah, it's okay. And then at the last minute, they like pulled the rug from up under my feet. You feel me? So I was really kind of stuck without a team because of that sticky situation. And then last season, I was supposed to sign with OKC after the one team didn't work out, but I ended up coming across some life situations, and I ended up I didn't say ghosting OKC, but like I wasn't able to like respond back to their DMs and stuff, and they ended up going with a different route. So I was kind of just stuck without a team because of situations that wasn't really in my control. Because like I said, I had pretty much already had signed with a team. So I was like, well, I ain't got no team. So me and my brother Sammy and my wife. Well, she wasn't my fiance, but now my wife Queen. We just was like, well, we're just gonna take a break, And then I get this off season. OKC needed a quarterback, and we end up talking and hashing out the issues where we had over the last off season. And at first, I know a lot of people in the league. Well, I'm gonna say I might be a little dramatic, but I'm gonna say probably like 80%, 90% of the league was feeling like OKC shouldn't have signed me, and I wasn't gonna, because I guess I have a name, you know what I'm saying? People, like a rep or whatever. Yeah, so everybody was thinking like, yeah, OKC shouldn't have signed me and this and that and whoop the whoop, but honestly, I feel like with the roster we have, considering we don't have that many players and stuff, like, I feel like this was the perfect place for me to come and actually show that I have good sportsmanship and I could actually be a good leader for a franchise. And they wanted to take a chance because they wanted to take a chance just to see what could happen. Because the last season didn't go that good, so they needed to take a chance, and I needed somebody to take a chance on me. So here we are, 2-3. We're not even. And then the thing is, though, we ain't even last in the division. You feel me? So we really are exceeding expectations that everybody had for us. You feel me? Because nobody even thought we would probably win the game. And look at it, we don't win 2 games. And I know, even though I got 11 interceptions right now, I had 7 in 1 game. So if you take away them 7 out that game, I only have like 4. I don't finish like 2 games with multiple touchdowns and 0 interceptions strong. You know what I'm saying? Like 1 game I had 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. And in the game we just played, I had 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. So outside of that 1 game, we really don't have a great season. Like even after the games we have lost, most of them have been by like 1-score games. You feel me? So I feel like, just imagine we had a full roster like the rest of the league. Like we probably be undefeated, so you never know. So then I say, like, Southside to OKC and my boy Ty, and you know what I'm saying, for them taking a chance on your boy. And I hopefully I'm exceeding the expectations that they set for me.
Hey man, I wish you the best of luck, and see, that's the kind of positive attitude and leadership qualities that needs to be displayed at all times. You celebrate the wins, you learn from the losses, and you just keep it moving. But I do wish you
every loss we took this season, I never got too low. I never get down. I always say we just gotta get back to work and keep progressing and try to fix our mistakes and come back stronger the next week. Oh, also before we go, I just want to say, okay, I got to troll a little bit because I'm a troll. So I just got to say, I remember I remember Thought was like, I would rather have a generic quarterback than King Jackson as my quarterback. But guess what? We have the same record as they do. So you feel me? Like, he was talking, but he has the same record as a team that has less than half the players. And I just had to say that because he said that about me, and I just been thinking about that. You feel me? So I just had to throw that out there. Thump, if you listening and you tune in, just know we have the same record, my boy. Just know that. Just know that. It's all love, though. It's all love, though. It's all fun and games, man. You feel me? It's all just in the sport. You know what I'm
saying? Hey, KJ, thank you so much for your time, man. I do wish you the best, in all you do, and for the rest of the year. Tell the beautiful Queen Jackson and Sammy I said what's up, and I'll be looking forward to talking to all of y'all real soon.
And then the thing.
Thank you, King Jackson, Ashley Jackson, and let's jump back into the highlights. Fort Worth hosting Detroit 13-9. We picked this one up, and that is Robert Garrett Jr. into the end zone for the score, 19-9, 20-9 at that point. Now, at this point, this game really wasn't too crazy, but Detroit came out with this we want to be DC2 type offense, and they got Andrew Gibson involved a lot in the passing game, but they struggled for 3.5 quarters in this one until at the very end they started to turn things on. C.J. Parrish with that score. Detroit gets the ball back. They're down by 4. Gibson rolls in the end zone. All of a sudden, the Maulers are on the comeback trail. They're up 23-20 on top of the Toros, and it was getting a little dicey. Fort Worth could have been 1-4 after this one, Mike.
Yeah, that was a big game for Fort Worth. It looks like it was starting to look like they were going to squander those 5 interceptions that they had. But then we see right here, Henry McGee comes through with a huge catch, and he takes us all the way to the house cam for the game winner.
Fort Worth gets the win, and they cement the fact that only 9 teams in the league are not 2-3, 2-2, or 3-2 at this point. Fort Worth gets their second win and drops Detroit to 3-3. You know, I've never been a fan, Mike. If you've got a roster and you've got an identity and you know what you're doing and you know how to make it happen, I get that sometimes it's going to be a bad matchup with an opponent, but Washington did it last year. We said it on the show, so now we got to say it to Detroit too. I just don't know why this team with the ground and pound and defensive front attitude and personality would just go totally different and try something completely out of the box like that. I mean, hey, it's halfway through the regular season, so why not? But it would have been interesting to see that Detroit team play the way they've been playing against Fort Worth.
Yeah, it's relatively early, as you mentioned. Yeah, we're getting towards the middle right now. So, but maybe that was an opportunity. They felt like it was an opportunity that they may have saw something in scouting and saw something that they wanted to do, this week, maybe try to implement some different things and show some different things, that they are capable of. And it almost worked, Cam. I mean, yeah, they had the 5 turnovers. That was probably the downfall of the game the other day. But hard to criticize them too harshly, considering that they almost pulled this out. But Fort Worth did a great job of responding once going down, coming down and getting the final score to win it. But you want to be known for something, I think. But I really can't fault them at this point too much for trying something different at this point in the season.
Seeing what your opponent is showing you, sometimes it's your opponent too that you look at him and you say, look, this is a weakness that they have. They don't defend this well. They don't. This package doesn't work for them. We know exactly what to do against what they're showing, and we're going to go do that. And so, it's easy for people on the outside looking in to, kind of judge or figure out exactly what's going through these teams' heads. But it was interesting. It didn't work. Ethan Flowers threw 5 picks, and Detroit struggled most of the day, but they did almost pull that out. Henry McGee, the true hero for Fort Worth. And Fort Worth needed it with Mexico City and Houston right now, as hot as they are. The Toros, they got to keep pace with every chance they get.
But it would have definitely helped Houston and Mexico City if Fort Worth could have dropped that game, considering they're in the same division. But they kept themselves afloat. The South is always competitive, so I don't really, obviously don't root for anybody to lose. But I like Fort Worth, and I like, if the South is going to be great, I would rather all the teams, be competitive and win. But huge win for them when it looks like. They kind of snatched victory from the jaws of defeat and kept themselves alive for possibly division as well as playoffs.
It was certainly an interesting matchup. We don't see Detroit versus Fort Worth a lot on the schedule in the SFL, so it was good to see how those two teams that don't have a lot of history together, how they stacked up. All right, this game was late at night this weekend, and a lot of people missed it. A lot of people probably didn't think that it was going to be very interesting or that it was a great game because it was 1-3 Sin City against 1-3 LA. Who really cares? Vancouver's obviously at the top of the West, followed by Arizona. You still got Washington in there. What does this matter? But this was one of the best games of the weekend. We had a lot of good games this weekend, too, so that's saying something. Sin City in the bright green turf of Los Angeles. Gets it to Talon Steele to start things off. It's 7-0. This was their opening drive, and the Samurai come out swinging. How about on their next drive? Scar Patterson on a rollout. Finds Al Dillapre. It's 14-0 in the first quarter, but this is when the game turned. Zach Benjamin gets hurt. Then Darius Iniguez gets across the goal line, makes it 14-7. Iniguez got hurt. These two teams practically killed each other. So many players going out the field with injuries, but you can't start a comeback in the third quarter with a pick six like that. 21-10, Sin City's up. Richardson into the end zone. Chris Lee, man, this dude's been great. 21-17. LA's only down 4 in the fourth, down 28-17. This is a wild play. Pass picked off, then a fumble, then the ball's loose on the turf. LA picks it up. There's another injured player. It's Robert Johnson. So Johnson goes down. Well, now Sin City's up 8, 31-23. Los Angeles into the end zone for the touchdown to Chris Lee. 31-29. LA missed a 2-point conversion earlier in the game. They tried to run it when Iniguez wasn't in there because of the injury, and the backup didn't get in. What do they do with 50 seconds to go? They hand it off to the backup. Iniguez still not in because of injury, and Sin City blows it up. The Samurai win the game 31-29. LA so close to getting that win, and they just couldn't put it together, at least for Los Angeles. LA's a team right now that does need moral victories. They're trying to take the next step in the evolution of this franchise, and they were every bit as good as Sin City on this day. They just came up a couple injuries and a couple yards short.
And Cam, you are 100% right. This game was late. I fell asleep on this game, and I woke up in time enough to see that 2-point conversion, and I was wondering, why are you running the ball in a 2-point conversion situation right here with your top running back out of the game? But but I didn't notice all the fireworks that I had missed, after I dozed off watching this one. But man, great game, and as you mentioned, LA, they no more victories right now. I know Sully is not happy with losing the game in the manner in which they did, and continuing to come out on the wrong side of a lot of these games, and I know they want to start getting in the win column, but they are trending in the right direction. I think, you got to be encouraged by that. A new regime this season. I think they're still missing some pieces here or there, but you have to be encouraged. Sin City, excellent team, excellent organization. You just came up a little bit short. Hey, all the only thing you can do is come back and fight again harder the following week.
Yeah, shout out to Zach Benjamin. I mean, Sin City's only 2-3, but they've been competitive in every game they played. Their worst loss is by 16 points this season, and that was early on in the season when they were trying to figure some things out. So Sin City's, they're definitely competitive right now. Los Angeles, you look at them, I mean, their win is a blowout win over Florida. They beat them by 20. Florida leads the East. So Los Angeles knows how to beat some of the best teams. They lost to Charleston in overtime, and then they lost this game by 2 points. Their other losses to Vancouver and Arizona, I mean, those are two of the best teams in the league right now. Coming up for L.A., Chicago, Pittsburgh, Washington, OKC. There's nothing in there that Los Angeles can't handle. It'll be interesting to see if they can rally from being 1-4 and make some noise down the stretch here.
Yeah, and no disrespect to any of those teams, but that looks like a run of teams that, if they can get some things put together and get some things figured out, that's a run of teams that they could possibly turn this thing around and end up being 500 after that stretch of ball game. So it remains to be seen, and all of those teams, as you mentioned, they're playing well right now. Also, Pittsburgh, that defense is outstanding, leading the league as far as points allowed. Chicago, they're leading the Central right now, and OKC, we've talked about them with that explosive offense, so it's not going to be easy, but it's also they can be doable for LA if they can get some things going in the right direction.
Last highlight of the week, Bossier City was in Arizona. We talked about both these teams a couple times at length. Military appreciation for Miss Gage moving up the ranks. It's 17-0, just like that, before I can even finish my first thought. Brad Jones, DJ Moses in the end zone, but they needed this, did Bossier City. Jeff Banfield from Johnny Pickler to the back of the end zone on 3rd down and goal. That was a tough catch. and a great toe tap, 17-7. So Bossier City hanging around in this one. 3rd and goal, 4 minutes to go in the third. Biggest play of the game. Ashley Jackson is looking into the short corner of the end zone, and Jackson fires it into triple coverage. And look at Bogey Barr all the way down the sideline. He's gone, Mike, 101 yards.
Yeah, 101 yards, Cam, right when it looks like the game was on the line. Arizona was about to put this game away, and Bogey Barr comes up with a huge interception to get Bossier City back in the ballgame.
Now it's 17-14, but Ashley Jackson stayed poised. TJ Punk gets that touchdown, makes it 24-14 down the stretch of that one, and that was enough to beat the Bossier City Steamers. Arizona's defense locked it down after that. Bossier City 1-5, minus 11 point differential. They are not a bad team. This team was a playoff team last season. They're just snake bit. They're just on the wrong end of some of these games. And I remember that one season, the Minnesota Vikings won all those close games, and the next season they lost all those close games. It's a law of averages. It's just been a tough season for Bossier City. They're trying to figure some things out. And something you said in pregame, Mike, that stuck with me is you said Oklahoma City can score. They can score points. Bossier City they have elite players offensively, especially in that passing attack, but they're just not scoring enough points, and it's putting a lot of pressure on that defense right now.
It definitely is, Cam, and it was a horrible. I mean, let's just not pull any punches. It was a horrible offensive performance. These guys, obviously great defense from Arizona that had a lot to do with that. But we've been watching this team several weeks this season, and it's something in my eyes is just something missing. I'm not sure, what it is. I don't know if the running game is not strong enough. The receiving core is top of the line in my book. You have Axis, you have Calia, you have Banfield. That should be okay, but I'm not sure what they're struggling with offensively as far as being able to get, actually get in the end zone and put points on the board, but they're definitely struggling. And it's going to be tough for them right now. They're playing a lot of close games, as you mentioned, but man, sooner or later, the offense is going to put some things together and take some pressure off the defense and help these guys out and put some major points on the board.
Blowouts this week. Queen City blank Carolina, 24-0. Carolina had 4 first downs, less than 100 yards of offense. They had no first downs in the first half. Carolina is 1-4. They are second place, or second worst in the league right now at 1-4 with a minus 47 point differential. The two teams at the bottom of the standings were playoff teams from last season. Bossier City's got the explosivity. Carolina has a detonator that is from like 1970 and doesn't work anymore. They have no explosivity. I don't know what's going on in Carolina and what has happened this season. But it's surprising, Mike, after back-to-back seasons where they made the playoffs and won a playoff game.
And this is probably the biggest surprise to me of any team this season so far, Cam. I really thought Carolina did a fantastic job in free agency. I really kind of feel like they won free agency with all the people they brought in: Ike McBride, Rochelle Colston. They brought in Bryant Dynasty. I thought that was a great, quarterback get to come in for Matt South, to fill his shoes. And right now it's just not happening. I don't know. I can't put a finger on it. It's like the running game. You thought with Ike McBride and the combination of with the running back and the backfield over there, that they would have been just as good, if not better, than when Harish was in the backfield last season. The receiving core just doesn't seem to be getting it done. It's a real question mark for me, and a head scratcher for what's going on in Carolina right now. These guys are not putting any points on the board. The offense is struggling every week, and it's showing with their record. It's standing at 1-4.
The biggest thing I noticed with Carolina is none of their receivers ever seem open. Their receivers it's always a contested catch. It's always something challenging. They gotta scheme these guys more open in the open field. Now on the flip side, Queen City pulls a shutout. The Corsairs, I mean, this team is a roller coaster, man. They don't play in a lot of close games, Mike. It's either they're on or they're not on. And they are a tough team. to figure out. They've had 36 and 39-point losses this season, and they've also won by 24. Yes, they played a couple close games, including the one at D.C., but you just never know which Queen City team you're going to get. We got a good one this week.
Yeah, you got the better side of Queen City this week, but if I'm not mistaken, they're breaking in either first year starter or a rookie quarterback this season. So you're going to get some ups and downs with that. But I think last season we saw them improve. And 6-6. I mean, typical thing that we've been kind of seeing from them, as you mentioned, up and down, right down the middle, pretty much. But I tell you what, that I don't think they're a pushover team as they were a couple of seasons ago. These guys have figured some things out, and they're going to compete, every week. And it may not work out for them, but they're going to be right there and they're going to compete and be right there in your faces and give you a tough ball game.
Pittsburgh, Oklahoma City, and Florida are next. Speaking of Florida, they lose by 29 points, 48-19 at home, even though they outgained the Aztecs. The Aztecs had a kick return touchdown, an onside kick return touchdown, and a pick six as well to help make that game look a little bit more lopsided than maybe it actually was. Florida played a decent game. No harm, no foul. They still lead the East Division, and Mexico City cleans it up. That's the life of playing the defending champs. You can outgain them and still lose by 29.
Yeah, the defending champs, Mexico City, they're the top team in the league right now. There's no doubt about it. They can beat you in several different ways, as we saw that against Florida. Sipe only had 6 pass attempts in this ball game. They took us all the way back to 1972 Miami Dolphins, Bob Greasy type stuff. We don't need to throw the ball around to beat you. These guys beat you with great defense and a running game. Ray Bentley had 99 yards in this game, and they had 193 yards total rushing. Total rushing yards in this ball game. So they pretty much flexed their muscles against Florida, and then came away with a huge victory. I was looking at the stats and trying to figure out how did these guys beat these guys by so much. I knew it'd have to be punt returns and pick sixes and things like that. But just a tough all around team. They're proving right now that they're the best team in the SFL until somebody knocks them off.
I think Florida looked okay. I think they're going to be pretty good. I think they're going to compete. Is it their season to win a championship? I don't know about all that, but they have not fallen into the trap of a total rebuild. And I think they're going to be all right. Florida, their next games, we get those here real quick before we move on. Florida's next games, they've got Houston, Queen City, Baltimore after they get a long extended break as well. All right, Mike, your Week 7 spectaculars.
Well, let's go with who wore it best, Cam, and I'm going to spotlight 2 teams that kind of themed it out this week. We just saw Arizona with the military salute theme. I mean, great look. Anytime you're going to salute the military, obviously, shout out to the U.S. Army from me. I'm going to give you kudos for that. And then we're going to go with Houston with the salute to the program. That's Damon Simeon's favorite sports movie, football movie. And I'm not sure. I can't remember the name. I know they were the Timberwolves. I can't remember what the actual name of the school was in that movie. Maybe Damon could put it in the chat if he's here. But those teams, I thought, did a great job of theming it out and coming away with victories. But I got to go with the Headhunters, man, with the program theme. They did a great job with that. And then plus MSG came through with the big touchdown at the end. I got to give it with Houston. They wore it best this weekend and coming away and winning the battle of the themed out uniforms. And now, as far as actual individual play on the field, Cam, we had a couple of great performances. We saw Chad Stinson of the aforementioned Queen City Corsairs. He had 2 huge sacks and helping them in that shutout victory this weekend. And then also, who do we have? We had Brad Jones coming from Arizona, 145 yards and a touchdown this weekend and leading Scorpions to a victory. But the spectacular player of the week, Cam, is Henry McGee coming through with that huge touchdown at the end of that ball game when they were down and giving Fort Worth the points to win, 132 yards and that huge touchdown and the victory over Detroit. Henry McGee, the spectacular player of the week.
I think DC is going to give you a run for your money on who wore it best tonight. They're breaking out their DMV uniforms for the rivalry game. They got the blue dragon and the red dragon at midfield. They got they're all decked out in their Washington D.C., Maryland, Virginia collab. They look really nice tonight. So we'll see if you have to put an asterisk in there. By the way, Eastern State University, I think, is who you were looking for from the program. So D.C. and Maryland, or D.C. and Baltimore coming up in just about 15 minutes. But we got to get to Ron Haynes' vision, and his breakdown of these two teams. This should be a good one. Even though Baltimore got off to a slow start, they lost to the defending champs and the champion runner-up to start the season. They have not lost since, so this is going to be a very interesting game. Let's start with the Baltimore Vultures. Jack Wigmore, 52% completion percentage this season. Not great, but they do throw the football quite a bit. Anytime you got Ivory Irvin and Mac Chima down the field, you're going to be a problem for opposing offenses.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Cam. Not the most efficient numbers that we've typically seen out of Wigmore, but he is Jack Wigmore, and he has a great receiving core of receivers to throw the ball to.
Now, Warren Murray's got 3 touchdowns this season. Just 170 total yards, but he's always a threat to go. But David Anderson's been stepping up, too. He's got 2 touchdowns on just 18 carries this season. So anytime he gets the ball, he's a threat to score.
Yeah, David Anderson moving over from the wide receiver position and been a great asset for them at the running back spot, as you mentioned, down around that goal line. He goes hunting for the 6 points.
Ivory Irvin, 16 catches, 224 yards, has not scored a touchdown. You see, got very close on that one there. Has not scored a touchdown this season, but he is always a threat. And don't worry, Ivory. My last name is Irvine. I get Irving and Irvin all the time. So I'm with you on that, man. And Mac Chima, just alongside him too. He doesn't have any touchdowns this season. That's just insane.
Yeah, that's kind of unusual for either one of these guys, man. I wonder how much they missed Daly Holder, retired in the offseason, but they're still a dynamic duo, and then these guys are going to pull it together and start putting huge points on the board before too long.
Man, I shouldn't check Charles Doherty's DMs right before kickoff. All right, let's go to the defense. Roy Towers at the cornerback position with the pick 6 here. He's got 3 passes defended as well. Towers, kind of an unsung hero when you think about Elijah Warfield, Ben Stackenpaper, these dudes at corner. But Roy Towers is having a great season so far.
Yeah, he stepped in, Cam, and stepped in some shoes over there and making a huge difference on that defense. They've turned some things around over the past couple of weeks. Alvin
Mack, man, this dude has been a force for years and years in the SFL. 34 tackles, 9 tackles for loss. He's a monster. He shows up every game. The only way he doesn't have a good game is if he gets hurt.
Yeah, as long as he's on the field, Cam, he's going to make plays, and we see him right there coming through with a huge play to shut down that Albuquerque offense.
Young Vaught with his first pick there this season, 30 tackles, 5 assisted tackles for Baltimore's defense. All right, let's take a look at the DC Dragons tonight. The undefeated Dragons coming in. Shabazz Synergy, 67% completion percentage. That's tough to do in the SFL. Already over 1,000 passing yards so far.
Yeah, Synergy has been excellent, Cam, and they figured out a way to say keep this guy efficient, keep him clean in the pocket, and he's coming through and delivering big time passes as we see right there.
Kevin Say's first touchdown of the season came on that pass. Will we see more of Kevin Say? He's averaging only about 10 yards or 10 carries a game so far this season, and DC did not run the ball very much last week. I think that could be a recipe for disaster against Baltimore tonight.
Yeah, you might want to pound this rock. Keep that Baltimore offense off the field.
Connor Weston in the back of the end zone with that catch, his first touchdown of the season, 29 receptions, 439 yards, averaging nearly 100 yards a game. That's going to put you in the top 10 of the SFL any season. And then finally, of course, Lauren Prococo, 3 touchdowns, 24 receptions. Her numbers, check that. That's who do we got making that play? Mason Kirby, my bad. Mason Kirby with 202 catches or 202 yards receiving and a couple touchdowns this season. I'm not used to Kirby wearing 13. When do you make that change? Lauren Prococo is here, lined up out wide. They use her all over the field.
Yeah, Lauren Coco is she's become just a superstar in this league, Cam. You could play her all over the field. And you see her out wide right there, lining up in the wide receiver spot, coming through with a huge catch, 3 touchdowns on the season, and she's been fantastic.
Invest in your young players. That's what DC's done on the defensive side of the ball. How about Billy Beers? 3 passes deflected in this game against Charleston, including this one right here. You could see him just sitting on that pass, waiting for that football. He's got a forced fumble, 5 pass deflections, 35 I mean, he's just filling the box score. Needs that pick, but certainly hurting offenses so far this season.
Cam, you can't go wrong with a name like Beers. So, I'm a fan already just by the name alone.
How about Nick Fargo crushing Iman Kopak there for Charleston? 15 tackles for losses in the backfield, including 4 sacks. Fargo looking like he did way back in the Sioux Falls Sparrows days in his early career. And Chris Britton III with an interception right here, 2 picks on the season. He's got 31 tackles and has been a godsend to this DC Dragons defense.
Yeah, Chris Britton III, former Houston Headhunter, man, he was great over there with us in Houston, and he's proven himself again how great he is over there with the DC Dragons.
9 minutes to go before kick. Who you got tonight? You got the 5-0 undefeated DC Dragons. If they lose, there's no other undefeated teams left. But they don't usually beat Baltimore. They've only won 3 out of 13 meetings, and in those 3 meetings, they've won all of them by 7 points or less. Do you go with the hot hand right now, or do you go with the history?
Yeah, Cam, and I've told you, it's really tough to get a feel for this ball game. DC, they are a 4.5-point favorite according to Jack's data, and you saying that they can compete for who wore it best this week, but you know that to get that, you have to win. So with that being said, DC this season 5-0, obviously the last undefeated remaining in the league this season. Their wins have their opponents' win total and the total record as far as who they faced so far this year. They have 10 wins and 16 losses. So they have not played an extremely tough schedule as far as win losses goes in the opponents that they faced. Only one team with a winning record, and that's Chicago. Baltimore, they started off tough against the Vancouver and then played the 2-time defending champs, and since then they've won 2 in a row. Road game for Baltimore, tough matchup. DC obviously a pretty, decent sized favorite at 4.5. With all that being said, I'm going to go with the 5-time champs in this, Cam, and then we'll be done with the undefeateds after this ball game. Baltimore 21-17 in a huge upset on this spectacular Monday night.
Man, Mike, that's a respectable pick, great pick. I don't know how this game is going to turn out, but I'm expecting that it should be a pretty good ball game here tonight. Our schedules are just crazy this season, Mike. 2025 has been nuts. I'm looking at the schedule right now. I think our next broadcast is almost a month from now. What are you going to do without me, friend?
I think I'm going to figure it out, Cam. There's a lot of football getting ready to get cranked up, so I'll be pretty busy over the next couple of weeks, man. But I'll miss you without a doubt, and and hope your grandmother gets better, and yeah, man. But yeah, we'll be looking forward to seeing you here in a few weeks.
Go Cougs, eat 'em up, Cats, all that good stuff. Down here in Texas. Man, it's great to have football back. Feels like every single day of the week now, especially on VFN and elsewhere. That was SFL this week. Enjoy Baltimore and DC coming up next on the network. Thanks for your viewership, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day.